You got to have a book for your child, Grace. Every child needs his or her book. I got a book for every one of my children. I got everything they ever did in it and everything they'll ever need. Their original birth certificate, shot records, every single report card they ever received from kindergarten through college. I got baptism records, dental records, and custody papers. Every single school picture from every year. I got copies of their diplomas, promotional certificates, and all their college degrees. Because the way I see it, I worked for them just as hard as they did. I got copies of their offer letters from all their first jobs, titles to their cars, copies of their deeds, leases, and all their personal insurance papers, and every other important document you can possibly think of is in there.
I see. Mrs. Streeter, you're so dutiful. But don't you think that some of these things belong to Charles now, like the title to our car?
Charles can have anything he wants from that book. It's his. But that's not my point. You see, Grace, there'll never be anyone closer than a mother. A mother is a child's best and only friend. If Charles needed anything from his youth or college or even his first job, I can pull it out and hand it to him just like that. You never know what your child might need, and you might be the only one there to give it to him.
I don't believe that, Mrs. Streeter. I don't believe it for 1 minute. It was hard for Charles to grow up without a father, and he will never abandon his child. No matter what happens between us, he will always be there for his child.
Charles is just like his father. Just like him. Take it from somebody who knows him far better than you ever will. You'll never know Charles like I do. Never.
Mama, please.
He lets people just walk in his life and lead him around by the nose. Just like his father. Just like he did when you convinced him to go away for those 30 days and you barely knew him. No need in pretending like you didn't know, like you didn't have a good time. Anyway, his father was the same way. For 30 years, Charles's father was scared to come on this side of town because he was scared I was gonna shoot him. And then one day, out of the blue, here he comes walking down Juniper Street. And I said, what am I going to kill you for? I got everything your wife got. A brand new car, a house, a fur coat, and I got them all by myself. Seems to me, Grace, you would have waited to have children until Charles finished another degree, instead of sitting around having babies.
Not that that's any of your business.
Everything that happens with my children is my business.
Because it's not like we ever asked you for a dime. Quite to the contrary, it's the other way around.
My children will always do for me. Always.
Charles took a second job teaching art at the university a couple nights a week.
So you made him work his ass off?
It's just temporary.
Taking care of you?
I beg your pardon?
Mama.
You don't have to beg me for nothing. It seems to me any woman worth her weight wouldn't rely on some man to help her with her or her children.
Are you referring to my husband?
Oh, no, I'm talking about my son. What makes you think you have the right to sit there and have him working like a dog? 3 years ago, he didn't even know you were alive. What right do you have to have him out there working his ass off to take care of you? Be pretty?
No.
Good, because you're not. You're just light, that's all. And there's a whole lot of women like you in the city, except they're younger, they're prettier, and they make more money. My son could have had anybody. Hell, he could have had somebody taking care of him if he wanted. I don't know who the hell you think you are.
I happen to be his wife.
Oh, so what? Wives come and wives go. Charles had a dozen women before he met you. And after you, another fool will walk through that door, and I'll be right here waiting for him.
I don't even think the question is who I am, because obviously it doesn't make any difference. I think the real question is, why did I even bother to come here today?
I don't know either. This was supposed to be a dinner for me and my children.
I guess I just thought that maybe because I was going to bring a child into this family, that maybe you wouldn't be.
What? His mother?
Maybe you wouldn't be so damn mean.
Mean? What do you know about mean? Even when I was pregnant with Charles, he made me wait on the corner because his family didn't want people as dark as me around. You want to know mean? After your husband was born, I got to read in the paper about him marrying some woman that looked like you. And for no other reason. All the men I had walked out on me, leaving me with another mouth to feed. And all the while I had to sit back and watch women like you. Women that I was smarter than, prettier than, get taken care of because their skin was lighter than mine. And if that ain't enough, it seems all the sacrifices I made for my son has led up to you. Some weak, whining, wanting to be taken care of woman that went on lock and load the minute you saw my son. I begged Charles not to marry you. I knew something was wrong with you the first time I saw you. You want to know mean? You sacrifice your life for your child and have him bring home something like you.
You tell Jeffrey that I said I hope he has a night visit with his brother because it would have been good seeing him. Goodbye, Sarah.
Bye.
Oh, and Mrs. Streeter, this is the last time that you ever do this to me.
Shut my door, girl. You letting out my heat.
That went well, Mama. I'm sure Charles is going to be elated when he sees his pregnant wife crying walking down the street.
Don't you dare sit there talking to me like that. You didn't say anything to her. I couldn't even sit down and have a conversation with my own child about his future without that bitch butting her nose in. Maybe it was a mistake, Charles. Maybe we shouldn't have come. Like a son coming to his mother's house is ever a mistake. All I did was ask you to keep an eye on the cake, and you couldn't even do that.
For God's sakes, Mama, I mixed up another batch and put it in the oven.
That was the least you could do.
Yes, that was the least I could do.
Now, come on and help me get dinner on the table. As cold as it is outside, I'm sure your brothers will want to eat the moment they get home.